Hey guys, and welcome back to yet another D&D story. If you're new, make sure you subscribe and go check out the first 2 episodes. This campaign keeps building on itself, making the details important. This session I gave myself some food for thought. If you need to gather parts for a legendary weapon, or you need a special favor from a powerful archmage, ruler, whatever, gathering quests makes sense. Otherwise, it feels like a waste of a session unless you're so drastically unprepared as the DM that you're just gonna point them to menial tasks and see what happens. The adventure starts as our rogue rejoins the party and we go on a much shorter tour to shops, thank goodness. We leave him at the jeweler, forget to mention she haggles aggressively, and go to the inn for food. He sells his 2 gems he got down in the dungeon, worth about 100 gold to her for a total of 20 gold. He comes back and we tell him, "Oh buddy, you've been ripped off." He gets this glint in his eye and says in a raspy voice, "Barakas, I'll be back. Need to go eat someone." He ends up not eating the jeweler, and we go visit the tanner since that's the one place we didn't visit last time. Cue mysterious half-orc who doesn't like people yet tans and sells hides to the homicidal maniac at the general store. Huh, alright. She asked the party to get a large quantity of skin since her business is doing poorly due to the higher than normal levels of xenophobic humans. The party agrees and they decide to combine this with another gathering quest we got from the innkeeper to go get her some fresh meat. As they're heading out of the city, the party passes a human priest preaching to a large crowd in the marketplace, stoking xenophobic tensions. Barakas gets this mischievous look and says, "I take out my short bow and fire an arrow." He has half cover and the guy's about 100 feet away, so I figure it's an unlikely shot. The rest of the party moves away so they are not associated with this act, even though everyone agrees something should be done about this guy. Natural f***ing 20. I describe as his arrow rips through the air with such a ferocity that it actually catches fire before it knocks the priest off of his podium and out of sight. He grins wickedly, but then the gathered people of course start looking for whoever fired the arrow, so I made him roll stealth to not get caught. Natural f***ing 20. Back to back. I made him roll again to make sure that his dice weren't going to give him a third 20 in a roll, and they didn't, so I let him have it. I tell him he goes invisible. He then just stands there as people run past, bumping into him and yelling, "Who's there?" and then running off to try and find the culprit they had thought escaped, but really was just hanging out, giggling like a lunatic. The priest got hauled off to safety by cathedral guards, and the party decided to leave it be for now and go track down some animals. I told them they couldn't use humanoids for the skins or meat, so they set about looking for cows, deer, and other suitable game animals. Beastland is surrounded by grassland, so there's plenty of opportunity to find something, right? I also told them that I sincerely recommend that they bludgeon the creature to death, as slashing or piercing damage would potentially ruin the animal's hide, and they wouldn't get as much credit for a partial hide as they would for a full one. This got very interesting as most of the players' regular attacks deal piercing damage. We spent about an hour hunting cows and deer. Cows seem like an easy thing to hunt, but many of them were branded, indicating belonging to someone else, so I made the party decide if they wanted to steal and finish sooner, or err on the side of caution, find their own animals, and finish it much later. To my great surprise, they chose the latter, and we spent quite a bit of time sneaking up on deer and herding cows into a slaughter area. The deer were surprisingly agile, so I gave players the idea of lassoing to hold a deer in one place. It worked pretty well, so make some use out of that 50 feet of hempen rope that your character receives. Near the end of the slaughter, I accidentally used a different cow token for one of the final targets. Our druid is immediately suspicious, perhaps understandably after the mimic incident in the first story. She rolls insight on the cow to see if it's a trick. Natural f***ing 20 again. What is it with these guys in 20s tonight? Holy crap! Gained no information, it's just a cow. She was still suspicious until it was very dead. They finished up their obligations to the tanner and the innkeeper and are paid a relatively unsatisfying amount for their hard work. Innkeeper paid about 5 gold for a couple £100 of fresh meat, while the tanner paid them significantly less. They used some of the extra meat to make jerky and gave some to the poor. Barakas, our tiefling, decided it was going to be a great idea to approach children in the slums and offer them jerky with a smile. A fanged, demonic-looking smile that sent most people running away, fearing for their lives. There was some light grumbling about the unsatisfactory reward, but they ultimately had a pretty good time chasing down animals, so it seems worth it. This ends the 3rd story. Tune in next week to see what happens when my players venture into the unknown. If you like this video, make sure to drop me a big thumbs up, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.